Most athletes overthink branding. You don't need 1 million followers to have a strong athlete brand. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 key pillars that every athlete needs to build a strong personal brand. Because brand starts way earlier than you think, and it gets stronger when you know who you are and why you do what you do. In fact, you already have a personal brand, you just might not be aware of it. Personal brand is just our reputation. So whether you intend to or not, you have one. And it's going to be one of 3 options. You're either entirely forgettable, blending into the background, nothing is helping you stand out. You can be memorable, but for bad reasons. A weird style, bad dress sense, bad trick choices, a bad attitude. Or you can be memorable in a good way, the way that team managers and brand owners whisper about to each other. The kind of athlete that turns heads, has a style, has something unique, has an identity that brands can see aligns with their values. And that's where I want you to be, with step 1 being aware, and step 2 is actually starting to build your athlete brand from today. So let's look at how we can do this. I'm going to break down this. It's a 1-page guide to building athlete brand. You can get it for free on our website, and it covers 5 of the key pillars that are going to help you. If you want to follow along with the blueprint, there'll be a link below. The first column we've got on this thing is identity. And having a clear identity is going to help you focus more and have more consistency in your training as well as your personal brand. And your identity impacts how authentic your personal brand is and how successful it is at being able to attract the right audience. And the more authentic it is, the more longevity that identity is going to be able to give you. So this is really your foundation. It's who you are, it's why you're different. And the goal here is to kind of understand what type of athlete you are, what you do, and what it is that stands out about the way you do it. So once you build your identity, you're then going to move on to pillar number 2, which is audience. And this one's important because not everyone needs to know who you are, follow you, like you, but you do need the right people. And understanding your audience is what will help you appeal to the people that align best with you. So this is where you want to think about who are your audiences within 3 categories, right? You've got fans and peers, so other people within your sport, people who watch your sport, people who would be interested. They're the kind of general population of your fans. You've then got industry and sponsors, so kind of brand managers, team managers, companies, marketing execs, kind of the people who will make those decisions to bring you in on a project or a sponsorship. And then finally, there's event organizers and media. Kind of particularly in action sports, having an identity is part of what gets you access to certain events. A lot of events are invite only. And so you could be really good, but if you've got no personal brand and no sort of network or audience within those areas, you're not going to get the opportunities to be there. So that's why it's really important to think about audience and how your brand identity is going to get the attention of those sorts of decision makers. And once you understand that, you can kind of tailor your content authentically to those people because you just know who you're trying to reach. You're not just trying to put something out that's like, I hope everyone loves this, because they won't. So you need to know who you're trying to actually please. Pillar number 3 is platform. Where are you going to show up? Where are you going to put out content if you're putting out content? Where are you going to compete if you're competing? Wherever you're showing up should match your identity and what it is you're trying to build. Because again, you don't have to be showing up everywhere to succeed. All of the different platforms are good for growth as far as you can turn up to every event and that is going to build your reputation. You could turn up on every social media channel. That's going to grow you in some way, but they all will do different things, and understanding what each platform will be good for or what it does to your identity or what sort of people you're likely to interact with on that platform is going to help inform your strategy of how you build your personal brand and how effective and efficient it is. So then once you know where you're going to show up, obviously you need to know what you're going to do, what you're going to put out. The 4th pillar here is content. This pillar is about understanding what it is you want to share, because not everyone should be sharing the same things. Every athlete needs to be telling a story, but what that story is totally different for each athlete depending on what your identity is and how you're trying to get it across. Because at the end of the day, the story is what's interesting. Personality beats talent. We're more interested in people's personalities than just high-level talent. You want the talent, But without a personality, it kind of just comes and disappears off people's radars. So we want to be putting out content that is engaging and that is interesting and that reflects the kind of identity we're trying to build. And so think about how you share content around your performance, whether it's just the top moments, the best clips, the cleanest things. Maybe it's the grind. Maybe it's all the hard work that goes into it to get that clip. Maybe it's raw and rough. It shows the missed tricks, it shows fails, it shows all of that kind of grit and determination. There are different ways to do it. And the way you do it will also start to bring in your personality. And then you can also tie in your perspective to this. How do you approach your sport? And the way that you share what you do is gonna be a reflection of this perspective. So you wanna be considerate about what you share. The fifth pillar we've got on here is network. Building industry relationships, building a network of people who are aware of you, do know you, because a lot of people just want to work with people they know. A lot of these industries are small and it's based on who you know. So you need to think about building those relationships with people in the industry. And you can also do that by supporting the brands that you love before you ride for them. If your dream is to ride for a certain brand, support that brand. Show them that it is a true deep part of your passion and you'll have a better chance of kind of connecting with them. And this ties back into kind of platform and where you want to be showing up, because you need to make sure that you are showing up at events, at competitions, those sorts of things. And you want to be going up and introducing yourself to people, meeting people, being genuinely interested in them, and not just sending out a DM, hey, do you want to sponsor me? Here's a clip. Hey, I'm really good. Do you want to sponsor me? It's building that connection before you get to that moment, so that they already know who you are. And hopefully when your message lands, they're already thinking, yes, I was thinking about this. And then the final part is consistency. What are the habits that are going to build your athlete brand? It's posting regularly, showing up regularly on the platforms that matter in a way that builds your brand. Because back in the day, you didn't have to put stuff out on your own. You had magazines, you had companies, you had videos, and the brands kind of were gatekeepers as to what got shown. So that was awesome because the brands did all the work. But it did mean you had less control over kind of how your identity was put out at each point, because it would be like, you turn up, you do a board short shoot, you turn up, you do a video shoot, they're going to control that, they're going to edit it, they're going to select the music, the overlay, all of those things, and that becomes your brand. Now we're much more in control, which is awesome, but it means it's in your hands. You need to be putting out content. That is part of the job. And so you've got to use that as a way to build the identity that you want. And the only way to do that is consistently putting stuff out there, especially when you're not known. You need to build it up. And you need to be delivering valuable, interesting, quality content. And part of that consistency is regularly reviewing your brand and how you are doing, and whether you need to adjust things, whether you're still happy with the direction it's going, and making sure that the work you're doing is taking you in the direction you want to go. So that is kind of an overview of that brand growth blueprint. Like I said, there'll be a link, download it below. What I want you to think about is, what are the things that make athletes stand out? Do you know why some athletes stick in your mind? It's not just because they're the best. There's loads of amazing talent out there, but most of it just blurs together, because talent alone doesn't make you memorable. It's the ones that have clarity, a style, and essence, who know exactly who they are and why they show up, that stand out. When you're consistent with your identity, your style, your message, that's what builds up over time. What makes people trust you, remember you, and want to support you. So remember, the athletes winning sponsorships aren't always the most talented. They're the most intentional. They know who they are and they show up that way every time. So if you want to stand out, don't just work on your skills, get clear on your brand, stay consistent with it, and let that identity build your value long term. So if you want to grab that one-page blueprint, there'll be a link below. And if you want the full system to build your athlete brand and attract sponsors, then that's inside the athlete branding course, also linked below. But we will keep putting out content. There'll be more videos with more insights and more tips soon. So I hope you've got value from this video. I hope you go away and start thinking about these things, or at least now take an awareness to what it is you're doing, and the seeds are sown and your brand will begin to refine.